Welcome back. After our little boo-boo that we had with the tool cutting in, as I said, I reduced the depth of the box just by a little bit. Turns out that that one mark we put on the beginning, like to kind of guess where we end up, was exactly there. So we've started again hollowing out the box. I've got the lid this time. I checked the lid, right, and it barely fits, and that is exactly what I want at this stage, right? Because we can always sand a little bit out or just scrape a little bit out for the lid to fit, and we'll keep that till the very end. For now, we're going to continue in hollowing out. Now, as it is, as I'm pretty much new to all this wood lathing business, I think I am discovering the limits of the Nova Midi lathe. This is actually, I think this is about the biggest I can go. The 3/4 horsepower engine is having some issues with hollowing this out. Usually I would be using these kind of tools to rough it in, but I'm just losing too much power. So we can work around that, and that's basically using our cutting tool by grooving in and just like taking bits out at a time. Having a small lathe doesn't mean that you can't do stuff. It just means you just have to be slower and clever about it. It just whatever oomph your little motor doesn't have, it has to come from you. So not forcing it, taking it easy is the way to go. In the meantime, I had switched over my range. As I was in a quite high speed bracket, I got 3 speeds, which I can adjust with a belt here. I had it on the high speed and electronically lowered it down, but that does mean you sacrifice a lot of power of your engine. So I had a little play around and I chose the middle speed, and I think that is a comfortable speed to work at, to have enough torque and actually to get the job done. I also have to say, I think this is ash, but this is damn hard, especially in the center. And working on top of the grain is pretty much a different story than when you're working into the grain, where cutting is just a little bit easier. So nevertheless, it's not going to deter us, so we're just going to continue hollowing this out using this tool here. Having a small area of cutting means that you can put a little bit more pressure on without losing too much power on the lathe itself. So let's have a go. Now we've got a little bit further in hollowing out, and as I said, like, I'm still trying to discover techniques, and we had the little unfortunate snap where I used this tool and I actually damaged a piece of the wood that we actually have to make the box smaller. I probably should have known this, but I'm finding out as I'm going along. This is a fantastic tool to remove a lot of wood quickly, but it's when you use it like this on a piece, it's fine. This, because of you're working on top of the grain, is a completely different matter. As you see, this is like a sharp U shape, and you try to hit it at an angle, but as soon as one of the sides grab, it will try to rotate your tool, right? Because your tool would be, I'll just quickly show you, you try to have your tool parallel to your cutting, right? So as long as you're working on a straight line and there are no curvatures or no big curvatures, you should be fine. But for work like this inside, yeah, maybe just a little bit there, but you're going to run into troubles as soon as you head into the walls of your box there. Now, as it is, there is a much smaller version of this, which actually allows you to go up much closer and give much more control. So I've been doing most of that hollowing out with this tool. As you can see, I'm hollowing out most of the middle. For the edges, you know, I still have to be careful, but I'll still be using the old trusted cutting tool there, and it also gives like a nice smooth edge on the side. So I'm going to continue doing that. So now for the time being, we're learning something, so while I'm learning I might as well share it with you guys. So here we go again. The cutting tool for the sides. Check, check, check. So I'm bringing the sides up to depth. So as we're cutting along, I just want to make sure I don't punch through the bottom, but we still have plenty of material left, so but it doesn't hurt just to stop once in a while, just to check where you are at the material. And also check your tool. And actually, for the cutting tool I need to set this just a little bit lower. So there we go. So I've done the rim a little bit more, just having a stop. Where is my little brush? There it is. And just clean out the dust, just having a look what's going on there. And you notice especially, and that's what I noticed, the height of your rest is really dependent on which tool you're using. Like earlier, I lowered it a little bit for the cutting tool, and you might have noticed that I'm starting to have like these really nice long curls coming out, because I was bringing the tool under a better angle. It needs to be like this, something like this. So if you have something like this, you have just this little splinters, and it's not very effective, and it turns the action into heat, and then you actually start to smell the wood burning. When it's throwing out these nice long pieces of wood falling on your hand, you actually feel the heat, and when it's starting to overheat or tend to burn, you'll be the first one to know, because it's falling on your hands. Okay, so I have a look here. Okay, so I'm just going to check the depth. Oh. Come on, here we go. So that'll tell me how far I am, and I actually got a good bit to go. So I'm 3/4 of the way I want to have it hollowed out, so that's not too bad. So now we're going to start with this tool, which is actually basically quite different than the cutting tool. Whereas the cutting tool, we slice these grooves into the piece. With this tool we kind of bring it across. I think it's better demonstrated by showing instead of words. So you just see, like, yeah, it's going to be good. Okay. Make sure everything is in place, steady, ready, go. So with this tool, you hold it quite close, you bring it to the piece, and you actually touch it and move forward. I'm actually going to turn that back at speed because I don't find that there's more material coming off of the piece. I'm actually seeing little burn traces on the piece itself, so the speed is just too high. Just lowering it a little bit. And you can just feel it come to the sweet spot. Notice I don't have no burn markings anymore. Whoops, that's getting very close to the center. Again, we're getting close to the edge with our tool here, so time to clean up, quick inspection.